the latest? What's happening now?
Yeah. So to start, I started my music journey in Atlanta, in a girl group. I went through full artist development there. I also at the same time was a competitive swimmer, so I was an athlete. I came from a very athletic family, so created a lot of like discipline and like motivation going into music. So having that background, I like immediately was I definitely had a lot of like good work ethic. So
Yeah,
so yeah, I moved to Atlanta to be in a girl group of four girls, and we went through all the artist development that artists really don't go through anymore.
yeah, true.
Yeah, it was like a lot of, running and singing to gain like metabolism, and then like, being in the studio like day and night, and then just constantly being around like the industry, and then singing live and all of that stuff. So yeah, that was what Atlanta was all about. And then the girl group broke up. I ended up going back and forth to Los Angeles to kind of audition for reality shows, and I kind of took that route when I was around like 15. Um, and went through a couple of those shows. I think those are really great for
Yeah,
experience and to get like a good look at the way TV shows are produced, and
facts.
especially like vocals and stuff like that, working with really amazing vocal coaches and stage directors is like such a good experience to get. Um, so yeah, I went back and forth to LA for that. I landed a show called Rising Star, which was with Kesha, Rod Paisley, and Ludacris. And
Yeah,
yeah, and I was there. They put us up in the SLS hotel for like 3 months. We were like living large. It was like amazing. And then after that, I started my YouTube channel.
mm,
Started like posting covers on there with my band, and just really building that fan base, because at that point it was kind of where like YouTube was becoming like the TikTok of now, but like
facts.
YouTube was like the shit. so
Yeah,
um so yeah, I started my YouTube channel. I was just posting covers weekly, created a schedule, for my fans, and really connect with them. Built that following up super quickly,
hmm,
and started jumping on all the other platforms. After that, started rolling, and then I got signed to a label called Empire, and they we released my EP in 2019. Well, no, we
hmm.
released the first single in 2019, and then my full EP in 2020. Um, and then now I'm here. In the middle of that too, I totally forgot to mention I was on tour with Flo Rida for like 2 years, so that was another big part of my life. But
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I seen that.
a lot of stuff to remember. I'm like, I forgot I did all that stuff, but yeah, where I'm
Facts. That's hard. Yeah, let's backtrack about you being on the show with Ludacris and Kesha.
Mhm.
Um, that's amazing. It's crazy how you got that opportunity and you took full advantage, obviously, because you blew up from there. But what advice would you give artists that are looking to be on a show like that, or like The Voice or American Idol and things like that, as far as auditioning and how to catch the attention because there's so much competition?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say go for it, because I just think, just even if you don't go too far within the show, just having that experience of being on set and working with, like makeup artists and hairstylists to vocal coaches to like producers, it's just a really good experience all the way around if you're a new artist. And
Facts.
at that point I was a pretty new artist. I had gone through artist development, so I like feel like I had some sort of a hang of like what I needed in order to compete like vocally. But as far as like the real like world of LA, like LA is a different animal when it comes to like the industry. So it's a lot of like nasty sides, and there's a lot of like really glamorous sides and like cool stuff. But to go through a reality show like that was so beneficial to me, and I definitely like recommend just going through the process of it just to get that experience as a new artist for sure.
Facts. And
Yeah.
fast forward, you blowing up on YouTube, doing covers from Taylor Swift to the Chainsmokers. And you're killing it. You're killing it right
Thank
now.
you.
Let's get in depth with like your YouTube and you starting your YouTube. Where did your initial idea come to start these covers and like how did they go viral? That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help in the bedroom, especially when it's time to step it up to the plate. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package. Women say there's nothing at all that's sexier than confidence. And Blue Chew can help you give the confidence where it counts. So if you can benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. Chew it and do it. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Leo Black at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Leo Black to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. I just want to give a special shout out to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Well, I had always sang covers growing up. So it kind of came pretty natural to me. My mom played Christina Aguilera like almost every day throughout the house. So I feel like a lot of my vocal tones and runs like come from her really. And she definitely was an inspiration. So I started singing a lot of her songs and just covering, which then went into covering like hip hop songs and rap songs, creating them into ballads because she kind of would do like versions of records that were just so different that I loved. So I started doing that with some like hip hop songs, and I thought it was really cool, and I thought people would really like it online. So because it was so different, to hear like I don't know a Drake song and like a ballad version, like Adele's.
Facts.
So yeah, I started doing a lot of content for covers and just weekly videos. And then after I started gaining like some traction, I started just continuing that and keeping it up. And then the views just kept climbing and kind of created a little home base on YouTube. And yeah, it really was like my platform where I started everything.
Yep. Yeah, obviously the music videos to the covers was a big part of it. Let's talk about your process when making music videos, from the wardrobe, choreography, location, all that. How do you come up with these concepts?
Let's see. I mean, those videos, I mean, I honestly, I filmed them in Miami, because that's where so what I would do is I would be on tour with Flo for about like 2 weeks at a time, and then we would get like 1 week off.
Yeah.
And that happened for like a 2-year time span. So when I would come home on the road, I would like listen to like what was popping, like what was like good. And then when I came back home, I would have like only a week, well, really like 3 days to like knock out 3 videos and just keep them in stock. So when I get back on the road again, I can just release them while I'm on the road. So I would go back home. I sort of already had a vision in mind of the type of like background I wanted to do. I'm really about simplicity, so we always just did different colored backdrops and stuff. My video team in Miami was Aflux Studios, and they also had a big opinion in like my videos, and they really just helped me like put it all together, especially like coming from being so busy on the road to like having to think about the visuals. It was like really hard. So having a team there was super awesome. It definitely was not just me. So they really put the work in and helped me out. And then I just would come up with the versions, and then I would produce them on the piano, and then they would add some other stuff to it. And we would just knock out 3 videos in a day and then have those for the road. And I would just release them every week.
Facts. That's lit. Yeah, and you also collaborate with other YouTubers like Kurt Hugo, all
Yeah.
those type of big YouTubers. So let's talk about the YouTube community for a minute, and what YouTubers you're looking at right now for content, and who inspires you, and who you're looking forward to like collaborating with in the future.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt was like my first, I think, ever YouTube collab.
Yeah,
He really put me on the map, I think, as far as like a cover YouTuber. And I mean, I still am in communications with him to this day too. He moved to Nashville, so I don't see him as much, but we still
word.
film videos whenever we can. And he is just an amazing musician and so talented in general. Like, to be in his presence in the studio is like so mind-boggling to me, because I'm like, this is just crazy that he can play like more than like 14 to 15 instruments. And like he's also like made up his own instruments with like brand deals he's done with like Coca-Cola. He'll like do like make something out of like the Coca-Cola cans. And it's just really, really interesting and inspiring to be around him. So he really introduced me to the YouTube community. And a lot of the other OG YouTubers, like, let's see, Alex Boot, Alex G, like a bunch of the like OG YouTubers that were super big inspirations to me. They're all super talented too. So, but yeah, shout out to Kurt for really introducing me to that whole community.
Lit. And I know you said that you went through artist development.
Yeah.
Obviously, like on tour with Flo Rida, it's a whole different animal. I mean, I'm pretty sure he works like a machine on
Yeah.
road, always busy. How long were you on tour with him?
I was on tour with him for, I think we were almost at the 2 year mark. So it
Was
was
that all
crazy.
domestic, like US or
No,
international?
that was all over. That was international. So it kind of was like crazy, because I feel like it was like God's timing. He just released his EP called My House.
Yeah,
And
that was when he was at his peak right
yeah,
there.
that was like he was coming right back on the map, and like he had been gone for a minute,
Yeah.
um, and on this hiatus, and then he just came back with that EP, and then My House released. I signed to him, and then like 2 weeks later he released My House.
Mhm.
And excuse
Oh,
me.
so you signed a record deal with Flo Rida.
Yeah, so
Okay. What record label was this?
IMG is his label.
MG.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have a partnership with like a bigger label or is it independent
Um,
label?
no, I think it's just them. I think they're just independent.
Okay.
So they might have. I don't know if, since I've been gone, if they do or not. But
Yeah.
um,
What was that? Was that your first contract?
it was my first deal. Yeah, it
Or
was.
what did
So
your first deal look like? Because artists talk all the time about their first deals and how the bag isn't as heavy. So let's talk about, like the logistics.
it was, I mean, it was cool. It was like, I mean, the touring experience was just like, you can't even pay for that. Like, I
Yeah.
was in rooms with people that I never thought I would be in rooms with. I was like around him, who was like such a good mentor, and just like worked his ass off. Like, I'm talking like to interviews, to shows, like he would never turn down anything that anyone presented to him. Um, and he really worked really hard, and like definitely inspired me, and like kind of set the bar of like, okay, this is the type of artist that I want to be, because the longevity that he's had is, I mean, he may not have like the number one hit, but he's in every single Super Bowl commercial, like every year. He's always in the sports anthems, like it's crazy. So he definitely was just a huge influence on me as an artist in general. Um, the deal was cool. It was my first deal, so it definitely was a learning experience for me. I think I learned so much on the road. I think I wish I spent a little bit more time in the studio rather than on the road all the time. But I mean, other than that, it was a really great experience. It definitely taught me a lot of discipline, and gave me like a whole other work ethic that I had no idea I had.